corner where that.
Where is that?
He didn't indicate he was having a problem, but that's what he said he's
Fellow
gonna do.
that owns the
I've
business.
just noticed he's got 2 minutes.
Used to have the trucks parked
There,
on the center island on Main, not Main Street, 158.
okay, it says
You're in the
I have
corner of
2, but there's no
68
regulation
and
right here.
158.
Oh, no, there's 4.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Nobody's
Yeah, so
ever
the
showed
fellow
up.
that owns the
Oh, yeah.
business, I don't remember the name right now, that owns the business on 158 toward the by right, you know, going in that direction.
Okay, the waiting room.
He used to park a lot of his vehicles in the center.
Yeah.
And then, so he took over the, I guess the, you know, it's rented, he's got the lease with the, that corner
Took over
property.
the car store. Yeah, behind
Used to be
Texas Side.
Max Wendell's. Remember, it was Max Wendell's originally?
Oh, you're talking about Max 10, yeah.
Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, we did it
Yes,
in
I
the
can
70s.
hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Very good, thank you.
Can I move?
Hello, everybody.
Can I
Hello.
move this?
Hello.
There.
Hello, this is Bruce Angel. Can you hear me?
What does that mean?
Yes, we do.
Shut up on Bruce's screen because he was talking. We ready to go, Ms. Martin?
I think so. I've never had another participant on Zoom since I've been here, so.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. This will be the August 26, 2021 Stokesdale Planning Board meeting. If you would, join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Especially today. Yep. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Say aye.
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 Okay, that's easy.
Aye.
Approval of minutes, April the 22nd, 2021. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the April 22nd minutes? Any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead. That's, oh, that was a yes, he's reviewed it, I guess. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve the April 20, what was it? The April 22nd, 2021 minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Nadell,
Aye.
Mr. Southern,
Aye.
Mr. Angel,
Aye.
Mr. Green.
Aye.
And I'm aye as well. Okay, the July 22nd, 2021 minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to review these minutes?
Yep.
Have we read the minutes, folks?
Yes.
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 Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we accept the July 22nd to 2021 minutes.
Second.
Any questions, comments, problems? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. Mr. Nadell,
Aye.
Mr. Southern,
Aye.
Mr. Green,
Aye.
Mr. Angel,
Aye.
and I'm aye also. Okay, that gets us to our one and only case this evening. That'll be a rezoning case number 21-08 STPL 06759. 8400 Lyman Street, RS40 to conditional zoning light industrial, I believe. Mr. Bass, do you have a staff report for us?
Yes, sir. This is a conditional zoning case to rezone property located at 8400 Lyman Street from RS40, single-family residential, to CZLI, light industrial. Property is located on the east side of Lyman Street, north of its intersection with Ellisboro Road, Guilford County Tax Parcel 164,401, approximately 1.15 acres. The application included a proposed use condition, which would be limited to auto repair services major. No development conditions are proposed, and a proposed sketch plan is attached to the application. The owner of the property is CP Truck and Automotive Solutions. With regards to the character of the development in the area, the parcel is in an area that is primarily developed industrial. The existing parcel is vacant, undeveloped. Surrounding parcel to the north is vacant, industrial zoned. To the south is an auto repair service shop. East is undeveloped, and the west is undeveloped, but there is some a utility station in that proximity. Some of the infrastructure information, water and sewer is available along NC Highway 68. Transportation, Lyman Street is a local road. NC Highway 68 is a major thoroughfare. Traffic count in the area is 9,900 average daily traffic. Average daily traffic. It's from the NCDOT traffic count of 2019, which is most recent available. 2018, which was the most recent available at that location. With regards to the land use plan, the property is located in the town core. The plan recognizes the town core as a center of commerce and social activity that will continue to serve the demands of Stokesdale growing population while maintaining a historic small town appeal. The plan is intended to accommodate a mix of commercial, business, institutional, and residential uses accompanied by public open space. With regards to consistency, the proposed action is consistent with the land use plan because the proposed condition and the sketch site plan is limits the site for a commercial use, which is also allowed in an industrial zoning district. The action is reasonable because the staff recommends approval because the parcel is adjacent to industrial zone property on 3 sides. The proposed use in the application and sketch plan is allowed in a commercial district such as a GB and a HB, and is therefore consistent with uses that are accommodated in the town core. And that concludes my report.
Okay, is anyone here that'd like to speak in favor of the rezoning? Okay, is anyone online that would like to speak in favor?
Well, I'd like to speak, but I'm not sure if it's in favor or not. I've got a question about it.
Well, please proceed, Mr. Louis.
Steve Louis,
Yeah.
you know me.
But just for the sake of the record, Steve, would you state your name and address?
Steve Louis, 7752 Highway 68 North, Stokesdale. Mr. Bass, this property lies within the Scenic Corridor boundaries. What kind of limits are put on this property, even though the back of it is within the Scenic Corridor?
Yeah, there are some facade improvements that's required in terms of whether or not it can be wood or brick. It's limited to material that's allowed in that zoning district, brick, other type of facade.
Now, the Scenic Corridor is primarily concerned with the view from 68. This property is actually on Lyman Street, so it will be looking at the back of this property.
Where the,
How is that affected?
where the back of the rear of the property is impacted by the facade requirement.
Okay.
It would
Is
not
there
apply
no-
to the front of the property, I mean, to the, fronting on Lyman Street.
Are you sure about that? Because the Scenic Corridor is actually on 68 and the back of this property joins 68. Looking at the site plan, it appears that the back of the building will be visible from 68.
Correct. The parts that's visible to 68 must meet certain facade types. The parts that's visible.
All right, I think the applicant should be aware of that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Louis. Anyone else online that wants to speak?
Mr. Chairman, this is Tom Medlin. I'd like to ask Mr. Oliver on his staff recommendation, the very end of his report. It talks about, if approved, an amendment to the Stokesdale future land use plan, and it didn't seem to finish, at least on my copy. Is there going to be, will it require any change to the land use plan?
It will not require any change to the land use plan.
Okay. That's what I need to know. Thank you.
Okay. Is anyone online that wishes to speak either way? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion from the board.
Mr. Bass, is this a final or does it go to town hall?
This
Or
would be a
town council?
recommendation that goes before the town council meeting, depending on whether or not we can get it advertised for the next meeting or the subsequent meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve based on staff recommendations, consistent with the other uses in the area and the Stokesdale land use plan.
I'll second.
This is Bruce Angel. I'll second it.
Mr. Southard beat you to it, buddy. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Bass, I gotta get back to the right page here, but I noticed in the staff report, there's a statement that this is going to be on public sewer. Unless there's something going on I don't know about, we need to strike that, don't we?
Well, yeah, it'd be on public water. It just need to be clarified that that's what that statement, yeah, just to clarify, it's on public water. The town does not have public sewer.
Okay, provider public water.
Point of order there, Mr. Jones. Understand that this is not an approval, it's a recommendation to town council since we cannot approve rezoning.
Okay, for the record, I'll clarify that this is a recommendation to the town council. Mr. Bass, this light industrial use is associated with the surrounding property, in particular a gas station. The applicant specifically requested the conditional zoning as opposed to a more open zoning. What I see when I read this is the specification that's for auto repair. This is not gonna leave the applicant in such a narrow spot that they wouldn't, for example, be able to repair a boat or other related equipment. We're not, do you have the definition handy of what this encompasses?
Would it be more automobile related in terms of, cars, passenger trucks? Boat sales is a separate, and I need to verify that. I believe boat sales, boat repair. Yeah, something like that.
If I want to get these gentlemen to fix my tractor, is that okay? We're not gonna be breaking the law, are we?
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. And they did, that's the, yeah, conditional zoning is at the request of the applicant, yes. So that's what they requested.
Okay, and I take it y'all are the applicants. Okay.
I have one
Mr.
concern.
Chairman, does that,
Oh, good.
Go ahead, Mr. Angel.
does this zoning limit the applicant from utilizing this property for sales of vehicles?
Yes, it does.
The applicant is in the audience stating that they're not going to be selling vehicles. Mr. Angel, does that answer your question?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Green, do you have any questions or comments?
No questions. I only comment is that I was surprised to find out that that this wasn't already zoned, being right there against the other businesses. I would have assumed that it wasn't RS-40, and which. So my only comment is that it should be rezoned.
Well, once upon a time, there was a sawmill back in that area. I don't know specifically what might have been on this property, and it may have just been a pile of sawdust or some lumber, I don't know.
Probably when I was in diapers.
Mr. Southard might know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That property was previously utilized by the sawmill and business.
It had a sawmill on it, it had a roller skate ring on it. The country store used to be Doc's Dance Hall. Yeah. It was notorious for Friday and Saturday night that someone was gonna go through that plate glass window on that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Southard, do you have any more questions, comments?
No, I do not.
How about you, Mr. Nadell?
The only question I have is, as far as the back of the property is gonna be facing 68, storage of vehicles. Is,
Sketch plan, we're not doing that, because I think maybe you're looking at an old one that, Terry had grown up, and that would look terrible. And with everything, they really work, you just see a blank wall, that made no sense. So we had to turn where the lobby is towards Lyman Street, you'll actually see the open 6 bays from 68. You're gonna see the open 6 bays, the rear side, however, where's the back side, that'll face the trailer.
yeah, my only concern was that the back end of the building, or the building section facing 68, doesn't become a storage yard for components, parts, pieces, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, our background, that's not what we're looking to make.
So the back end is gonna be drive-in bays with like a driveway going around it.
Yeah.
20-foot bay doors on the end, you will have to have that area to make that turn. You couldn't store anything.
Right, okay.
Whatever you guys pretty much allow us to do.
Mr. Bass, would it be correct to state that those types of detail will be handled when the site plan approval's done?
Yes, that'll have to be handled at the site plan approval, and then we'll need to also see the building design. There's restrictions in terms of having the blank walls, and those type, and there's some certain screening requirements that's involved in it as well.
Yeah. We got you. Mr. Angel, do you have any more questions or comments?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, let's call a question and vote. Mr. Nadell?
Aye.
Mr. Southard?
Aye.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Angel?
Aye.
And I am I also. Okay, that gets us to the end of our planning board cases. The announcements. Number one, any decision of the planning board may be appealed to the Stokesdale Town Council within 15 days of the planning board decision date by contacting the town clerk with a written notice of appeal. There is a $200 per case filing fee. Announcement number two, the Stokesdale Town Council meeting will be on Thursday, September the 9th at 7 p.m.
And just to add that, we do have a rezoning case for the next planning board.
I don't think the audio's picking you up there. Could you?
Oh, I'm sorry. But we do have a planning board, rezoning case for the next schedule, for the next planning board meeting as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bass. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Prior to that, I do have something I just wanted to bring up.
Mr. Nadell, please, go ahead.
Okay, I don't remember the exact time frame, but somewhere back around, I'll say March or February, we had a gentleman who was appointed to the planning board, Randy Braswell, who has had an obligation to complete the training in a, I guess what we always say, a reasonable period of time. It's now 4 to 5 months later, and as of this afternoon at 4 o'clock, he has still not completed the training. My recommendation would be to have him removed off the planning board, and I'm not sure who does that, whether we do or the council does that, because it's apparent that he has no, I don't know if he doesn't have the time or he hasn't the interest, but I would assume that if somebody would have been appointed to the planning board, they would have, over the course of months, made an effort to complete the appropriate required training. And since he has not done that, I think that that position needs to be filled with someone else who may be looking to do that and has more obligation or more commitment to it. I just feel that the commitment's not there due to the lack of him completing this. Now, maybe yourself or someone, the chairman, can reach out to him to find out possibly there's something that's happened and he doesn't have the time. Maybe, God forbid he's gotten sick, something, I don't know what situation is with him. And then, of course, then we can be reasonable. But if it's just I haven't got a chance to do it yet, I don't think that's really acceptable because there is a responsibility, and I'd like that to be looked into.
All right, Mr. Nadell, my response to that would be that you're certainly free to contact Mr. Braswell if you choose to. I don't have the answer to your question. For those that may not know, all the planning board members serve at the convenience of the Stokesdale Town Council. The Town Council appoints them, and the Town Council can remove a member. And so that would be a Town Council function. And my suggestion would be to talk to the Town Council members.
Okay.
This board, I don't know what action that we could take either way to address your concern.
Okay, do I have the consent of the board to be able to speak to the council about this? Can I bring this to the council? Is that okay with the board?
The board has not given you consent to speak for the board. You're always free to speak to any council member you choose, or Mr. Bass, or any citizen.
I understand. So there's no issues with me if I wanted to bring it up at the next council meeting as a citizen.
Again, I don't think the board is giving you permission to speak for the board. I think that you're perfectly free to speak as a citizen and as a board member to, regarding this subject.
Answer my question. Thank you.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that the planning board adjourn.
I'll second. Mr. Nadell?
Yes, aye.
Mr. Southard? Aye. Mr. Green? Mr. Angel?
Aye.
And I also. Folks, thank you. Good to see you. Everybody have a safe trip home.
Hey, appreciate you.
Thank you.
We've got a cord down here in the way.
Thank you guys, see.
Okay, take care.
Are you guys going to soliciting, skid steer work and stuff like that? Or
Record.